You're listening to the Sports Connect podcast with Charles Bass and Cisco Soto. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. Be sure to visit the website at www.sports-connect.net and become a member and get connected.
Welcome to the Sports Connect podcast here on this Thursday evening. Charles Bass, Cisco Soto.
Nice rainy night.
Nice rainy night here in York, Pennsylvania on June the 6th as we do this podcast. A lot going on in the sports world. The NBA Finals is starting tonight. We got some news about baseball, and not good news, of course.
No, sad to say.
So let's get it going here. First off the bat, the steroids. They're back.
They never left, dog. That's what most people keep getting confused. I thought at first, everybody was trying to say, well, this is a big deal, this and that. I don't even really think it's a big deal, man. I mean,
it's not a big deal because people's not watching baseball anymore. Yeah,
but it's not even eye-opening. It's one of them days where it's like, really? This guy? Again?
Yeah. A-Rod, you talking about you.
Yeah, A-Fraud. We like to call niggas out on these shows, but it is what it is, man. Big fraud.
Yeah. So the story is that the guy who was supplying the product this time around asked A-Rod for an undisclosed amount of cash
to keep quiet.
And A-Rod politely denied.
Yeah, I don't know if it was politely for him to come out. He said, well.
Yeah, so he decided to go to MLB directly and tell him.
Give him a list.
Yeah, tell him that he will fully cooperate with them if they drop the charges. So it's about to get ugly once again. But they say it's potentially up to 20 people that's going to get suspended.
100 games, too. That's what they're looking for the max right now.
Yeah, so, 100 games, that's basically if you get caught after that, you're banned for life.
A-Rod at this point, what else does he have to do to not get banned? For life? This would be, his second time around now, right?
Yes, but this would be the first time he actually got caught, per se.
You're right, because he admitted the last time.
And then the rules wasn't
taking a substance.
Yeah, and the rules wasn't in effect.
Since he actually didn't get tested, and he actually just came out because there was some other speculation of other people talking and saying that he was using these things, and he just came out and just admitted that he had taken these other supplements or whatever they were called, that he was getting from the Dominican Republic, that he was saying that was he technically couldn't be tested for, but it was a performance-enhancing drug. I don't know.
I just say this, for a guy who's making $25 million bucks a year, I can understand the pressure.
I can understand the pressure too, but at the end of the day, their only job is to stay in shape.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real too. Baseball is not the most grueling sport.
Oh, no.
They play 2 games in one day.
Oh, no. Baseball is one of the most grueling sports. You talking about 8 months out of the year job.
I know. It's a long, arduous process.
162-game season.
Again, it's a long, drawn-out season. But you get up, you hit the ball, you run around for a second, and then you go sit down.
You make it sound so easy.
I didn't say it was easy. I just said there's a lot of breaks in between, when they actually got to get up and do something.
Yeah, it's a lot more breaks. It's not as strenuous as say football every 30 seconds, but it's still a lot of stop and go movements. No,
I'm not saying they're not athletes or anything like that. I'm just talking about, like you said, like football, basketball. They run up and down the court. There's a lot more stops than there is go. One of the bigger names on that list, though, is actually having one of the better seasons, Melky Cabrera, and it seems like nobody really wants to talk about that right now.
Because everyone knows he's a fraud.
See, I believed in Melky.
If you believe in Melky, you should believe in A-Rod. Truth be told, at least A-Rod did something. Melky didn't really do nothing until he got on the juice.
Yeah. He's the first Triple Crown runner in how many years?
No, that was Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
You don't want
I get him confused.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
He's actually doing all right.
He actually doing all right.
Yeah.
But, the Ryan Braun.
Yeah, that's the big
That's the bigger name.
And his whole story, how they caught him initially the first go around, and they
said it was a false positive.
Right. So they said it was a false positive by the way they handled the samples or some mess. So by him getting caught the second time, he's legit where he should get 100 games. I'm very disappointed in him, man. I really liked his game. But, man, if you get caught, you got to pay the price.
That's what I said. I don't understand why now, with everything that goes on, why these guys think they can get away with these things.
Well, this new form of steroids is not, the hardcore shoot it on your butt type steroids. It's like a testosterone type booster steroid. So, it's a pill form. You basically just, put 2 pills in your mouth every morning and
just keep it moving.
Yeah. So it's always a cat and mouse game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they keep coming up with new and exciting ways to change the game, they're gonna have to keep coming up with new and exciting ways to catch them. So,
right.
It's sad. It's sad. It's another stain that baseball has to deal with. I mean, he kind of just escaped that era from like the late '90s, early 2000s, where everybody seemed like was on something. And all those numbers from that era seemed tainted, except for the ones by my man Griffey. He's the only one from that time really that kind of came away with no blemishes on his record.
Yeah. Well, we all know Griffey didn't really do too much in the weight room, so.
That's all right. That's what I'm saying. Griffey was like one of the best athletes in the world, and then as he got a little older, there he just
fell off the map.
He just started eating and got to chilling. I don't know.
He got hurt a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because he wasn't keeping himself in shape. That's why.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess that's good.
Yeah. If he ever tries to get called out, he'd be like, "No. Remember the leg? Remember that? Yeah. Remember that? I didn't run for." Griffey had like a 4-year run there. Like when he went to Cincinnati, he didn't really do much of nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's so sad for baseball because I enjoy baseball, but no one's watching anymore. Everyone with more excitement. And with the whole
except for, I mean, you know what, the Braves, Atlanta Braves got a nice young team. They seem like they got a lot of things going in the right direction.
A lot of teams got
and the Dodgers.
A lot of teams got a lot of good things going in the direction. But I mean, when you turn on the TV, that's not what you talk.
That's what nobody wants to talk about.
Right,
though.
Exactly. So I don't know. I mean, baseball got a lot of soul searching to do, man. And how they're gonna bring out their product because you got basketball. Football is taking over.
Football is always taking over.
Right, so.
Yeah, no, it's it went from being like number 1 to easily like number 3 right now.
Right.
Seriously, I mean, it's just let's just move on. This is starting to get depressing.
It is.
Quick little wrestling recap for the week. Did you happen to watch Slammiversary?
I just read the that little column in the bottom corner of the paper to get the results.
Oh. Well,
yeah, but
I think there was 2 takeaways from that night, or actually 3, which was hilarious. Chris Sabin came back recently to TNA, and he won the X Division title. So after he won the title, your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, Hulk Hogan, comes out and just steals the whole moment for Chris Sabin. And
did he endorse him?
Yeah, he did. He did. But he wanted to rehash like his glory days because they were in Detroit, and that's where WrestleMania 3 took place.
Did he body slam him?
No, he didn't do anything. He just kind of came out and just grabbed the mic and just started, to start bringing back stuff that happened like 25 years ago. And Chris Sabin's 2013, where Hogan's like 88, like 87. So you had, I don't know if you meet in the middle there and you ended up at 1995. I couldn't do the math on that, but it was a little it's a little strange to see that there was no point for Hogan to come out at that time and steal the thunder from Chris Sabin.
Yeah, I see, but if I'm Chris Sabin, I'm more concerned if I'm going to have a job in 3 months. Jay Lethal.
Yeah, well, Jay Lethal doing all right. I mean, have you seen Ring of Honor lately?
Yeah, but he was supposed to be the next.
He was supposed to be the next one up.
He was the last guy.
But then when Hogan got there, all that stuff kind of changed.
Well, Hogan endorsed him, remember? After that big match with Ric Flair. And
yeah. But then they just stopped finding things for him to do.
Yeah, if I'm Chris Sabin.
Like they do with a lot of their young talent. They just...
Yeah. So if I'm Chris Sabin, I worry.
So the... I don't know. Second takeaway from the event was Kurt Angle, the second inductee in the TNA's Hall of Fame.
I realize they're trying to be different in the way they approach their Hall of Fame. They want to give.
That don't make sense though.
I know.
it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, TNA's been around for 11 years now.
Yeah, they should.
There's a lot of guys. No, but here's the thing. There's a lot of guys that came in like in the beginning. Like AJ Styles has been there forever. Jeff Jarrett, even like one of the earlier world champions like Ken Shamrock. There was a lot of guys like even like X-Pac was there for briefly. Yeah, I mean, he was there for a time or two. He had a great ladder match with AJ Styles. I don't know if you ever got a chance to see it, but it's actually.
I thought you meant like he was dead last night.
No. I'm talking about like in their beginning, and then because you were saying about how it don't make sense.
I was saying, how the heck Vince let him out of that deal?
Yeah, they had a lot of guys that were there from from their fruition, and they just. Kurt Angle's been there for 5 years. He's been there for about half of their run, but he just decided to induct an active wrestler. Yeah. Just doesn't make too much sense.
You should wait till your company at least been 20, 25 years before you start inducting people, number one. And then number two, you're inducting people that's actively still on the roster.
Right. I mean, they put in Sting last year.
I can understand Sting.
Right, because, I understood that. Just from a pure wrestling standpoint, because Sting's been wrestling since the 80s.
Right.
And he's been through WCW. He's been a big,
he's been a big part of wrestling history.
Right. And that
totally
made sense.
That.
I mean, I'm sure, whether it's 5-10 years from now, he'll get his due, in the WWE Hall of Fame.
That'll happen.
It'll happen. I mean,
the only big name wrestler
to never compete.
To never compete in the WWE ring. That would be awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that will happen, but I just don't understand the process in that. Like, why?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't understand, but I will say this about TNA because I did a little research of what they've been doing this year. I felt kind of bad you was talking by yourself last week.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. So the way they changed their pay-per-view format, they went back to the old school ways where they only have 4 major pay-per-views per year. Mm-hmm. They're starting to do tape delays on the show. So now it's kind of similar to like Superstars or Primetime Wrestling where they tape a bunch of shows and then they format it throughout the month. Yeah. I like that.
It makes sense for them, especially like budget-wise. I think they can get more done.
Yes.
And not spend as much money, which makes more sense for them because then that way at least they can...
They can do a lot more things. They don't have to stay in that dungy MGM studios every week.
Oh, they're done from that.
Yeah, so they can travel.
Right.
They can do different things in that regard too. I like that. I like that.
I just think
that brings out a better product.
I tried to watch Impact last week, and it was hard to sit through, and for a number of different reasons. For the same reasons like we talked about last week, they got too many old guys, like in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And it, just how like when people complain about the things that like WWE does, like still bringing Triple H is on TV, but Triple H ain't wrestling for the title every week.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we get tired of John Cena and that too, but John Cena is also not 50 years old either.
No, he's not.
So, they guys like The Undertaker, they know when to stay away. They know when they come back. They're not always the main
They know
feature.
when to be part-time.
They know when to, they use those guys part-time. I think, again, they need to go back to what brought them to the dance to begin with. They had really great homegrown talent. They brought in a lot of guys from Ring of Honor.
I think they're going to have to go back to that well and start over. I think those guys like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, they're kind of stale at this point.
Well, they ruined Samoa Joe.
Oh, yeah, they did.
No, like they truly ruined Samoa Joe. And I think that again, that was to your homeboy's credit, Hulk Hogan. When he came into the business, when he came in over to TNA, it just seemed like they started to push like a couple guys. They didn't, for some reason, he didn't believe in Bobby Roode, which is, I don't asinine. See that.
That's asinine.
I mean, that guy could seriously be, if he was put in the right position, he could probably be it in professional wrestling. But, again, you got Bubba Ray Dudley as your world champion. Now, he's done a lot of things to come along since, he's become a great singles wrestler. He's transformed himself in that too.
Yeah, give him props.
And I give him more credit in the world. But again, it's 2013. Guys like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, they're kind of in their primes right now of their careers, And that's all going to go by the wayside because they're going to be stuck there. So, I don't know.
They're just going to have to bring up new crop talent and kind of... I told you this, I don't know how many episodes ago. I mean, more, They got to get... Until Hogan and Bischoff go...
It's still going to be the same.
It's still going to be the same, man.
And you know what's hilarious? Like AJ Styles' character now? Just because like he wears a leather jacket and has a beard that makes him tough? Is that what constitutes like a tough guy now?
I don't know what they were doing in those development meetings.
Yeah, but that's it. Here it is. We'll just give him a beard. He can grow a beard, right? And they had to check first because they didn't know if he could grow facial hair or not. And then somebody bought him a leather jacket and they said, "Here, put these two together. That makes you a bona fide tough guy now."
Well, that's what they kind of did with Swagger. They got him a mouthpiece and told him to grow a beard. And now he's tough.
Yeah, but see, at least like when he started, he had some form of credibility because he could actually like wrestle and that too. And yeah, they had to change his gimmick though. I mean, last time
the All-American American.
God, come on, man, he was out there dancing with a chicken and all this and that. You can't have that crap.
Yeah. I'm talking about the push-ups and.
So on the Raw, did you happen to catch Raw this week?
I did not, but I did. I could be wrong.
You went through that app, right?
Yeah, did Curtis? Yeah,
Curtis Axel. Yeah,
did Curtis Axel wrestle?
Yeah, wrestled Triple H again.
That's what I thought.
And he won by the most devastating maneuver in all of sports entertainment.
What's that? The people elbow?
No, the dreaded countout. Oh. He's got.
Has he had
all his wins?
Yeah, I was going to say, has he had a clean win yet?
All his wins have
been wrestling all these big names and he haven't had one clean.
All his wins have come by countout. So it's again, in my opinion, off to a great start. Yes, he is technically undefeated, but if you're going to build this character up in that, you could at least have him pin somebody.
Right.
Besides Sin Cara. He wrestled Sin Cara like on SmackDown. No, SmackDown the week before.
Oh, okay.
And that was the only thing. Yeah.
Well, you know what? So you talk about TNA need to. Well, I said it too, that they need to kind of start up with the youth movement. You notice the WWE is starting to push their youth movement through NXT. They're starting to push them guys up.
They're bringing more and more guys up.
You got the Shield. You got Curtis Axel. You got Husky Harrison. His crew's about to come up.
Yeah, the Wyatt family.
The Wyatt family. I see.
Shield, obviously.
Yeah, so I see they slowly starting to make the move to push their guys up.
You know what? At this point, they almost have to, and here's the reason why. They got 3 hours on Monday night. They got 2 hours on Friday night. They got another 2 hours of programming like somewhere else.
Between main event
and superstars, the content that they put on the website and everything else. I mean, they have 8 hours of content almost in a week, original content that they pump out in a week.
Every week.
So, eventually people get tired of seeing the same people over and over again. That's why I said, at least you might not like some of the things that they're doing, and I don't like the main event scene right now because, certain people aren't there, CM Punk, but they're not, I don't think necessarily pushing the right people or the wrong people, but everything else around it right now is starting to get a lot better.
Right.
So where the focus of the show still might be John Cena and Ryback, but everything else that's been going on around it has improved, immensely. I don't know what I guess they're looking to separate Daniel Bryan and Kane, which is kind of good now because that's kind of run its course to me. And Daniel Bryan needs to be on his own.
Yeah, you do. You need to showcase his singles talent. Put Kane in another gimmick,
I mean, Kane's a guy that for some reason he might not do anything for 6 months, and then he'll come back and just be right back, in the mix of things again. He's just got that stand power.
Yeah, he's a timeless character.
Right.
So he always be fine.
Enough with the wrestling.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your boy, because you was kind of a little heated about that when I received that text message earlier today.
What's that?
George Call getting the can by the Nuggets.
Yeah. I was a little off put by that, and the only reason why I say this, he's been there 9 years.
Yeah, 9 years.
Nine seasons straight. Hasn't him and Phil Jackson tied for the most winning seasons out of any coach that's been in basketball. And I'm not saying nobody can get fired, but okay, yeah, they had their first round exit in the playoffs. They did lose Gallinari, so they had a couple freak injuries, and Fareed was hurt early on. So I don't know necessarily you could blame him for that, but this guy's been nothing but a solid for that franchise since he's come over there. So we talked about last week about Vinny Del Negro being let go. So the Nuggets had their most wins that they've ever had in franchise history, as well as the Clippers. And it seemed like Lionel Hollins might be on the move as well too. So this is 3 coaches that took their teams to the highest number of wins that each of their franchises has had, and 2 out of the 3 are out of a job. How does that make sense?
That doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. George Karl, I can kind of see where they taking a big risk by doing what they do, because that team is kind of like how I pictured the Bears team last year. They set for a 2-3 year window. They're ready to. If they win, lose, or draw, their team is right.
It was set. Yeah,
it's set. So by you doing that, you taking a huge risk by messing your team up the next 5 years. The Clippers, on the other hand, I think whoever they bring in, because they got 2 franchise guys, like
one and a half franchise guys.
Yeah.
Because you was referring to that other one as Blake Griffin, right? That's why
they got 2 cornerstone blocks to that franchise. I think you'll be okay with the Clippers. Memphis.
I like how you ain't want to answer that question, but it's all right. We'll get back to that.
Memphis is similar to the Nuggets, where they're built for the next 2 to 3 years also. And, you're playing with fire.
All 3 of those teams, like you said, kind of all in the same position.
They're all in the same. The Clippers got the better roster because of their franchise. They got superstar talent. Those other 2 teams, they just set for, this
They just play basketball.
Yeah, but the window is small. That's basically what I'm saying. So once their team is set and done in 2 years, then they got to rebuild. So you got to have a coach that's going to get them to play now.
The Grizzlies probably have the shortest lifespan out of those 3 teams.
Exactly. So they can't afford. Right. I mean, they already rolled the dice by getting rid of Rudy Gay, and it turned out to work for them. No one really knew how that was going to play out. So you really want to stretch it out and let Rudy go.
And OJ. Forgot about OJ too. They let OJ walk for pennies.
Tony Allen's fine.
Yeah, I know, but still,
I can understand. Yeah. The Rudy Gay, you didn't know how Tayshaun Prince was going to react to come in and
and he basically revitalized his career right there. He might,
you didn't know
he might be around another 10 years playing like he's been playing.
No, he'd be around 2.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, but
I was exactly.
Yeah, I know you was, but I was just saying you was rolling the dice because Rudy Gay is a potential franchise guy. I see him in a mode of what Paul George is. I could see that. I can see that potential. I don't. Let's see what happens when he get 1 full year in Toronto.
Yeah, but see, he just might be another guy, good stats, bad team guy.
That's what I said. Let's see what he do in Toronto.
But we saw a lot of this happen with guys like one of your favorite players, Joe Johnson. He got paid because people thought they could build a team around him, and then look how that turned out.
I think you can build a team around Rudy, personally. But like I said, it's a wait and see because we don't know yet.
We don't know yet. Yeah.
We don't know yet. But with that being said, Memphis, they let go of that coach, man. I wouldn't be surprised. They wouldn't even make the playoffs next year.
Think it's that bad, huh?
I think so. It's something, particularly in today's NBA, if you don't got a superstar on your team, you playing this system type of basketball, any one little piece, whether it's the coach.
He turned a lot of people into, especially like Mike Conley.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of resurrected a couple careers like Zach Randolph.
So any one piece of a system that you built up that gets removed, you rolling the dice that whole puzzle will fall through.
I mean, he came out. Lionel Hollins came out and said that he didn't want to coach anywhere else. So
that's fool. He's just talking PR
mess. I know he's talking PR mess, but even they denied Ness the opportunity to reach out to speak to him and that. I mean, I think he might be staying put. I don't again, tomorrow that might change.
I hope so.
Tomorrow that might change, but I'm thinking for right now, just kind of reading into the whole situation, that he's going to at least stay put for 1 more year.
Well, I really hope so because, like I said, you let him go, man. I don't see them in. It could be. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make the playoffs. I just feel like that. You got Golden State coming. You got Portland's coming. I think Minnesota, now that they got rid of David Kahn, they coming. So
I think they got a lot more cleaning up to do. They need to talk to somebody and get like a 3-year plan.
Yeah, I think
sit down. Yeah,
I think with Flip really, running the show, he got the common sense to make that happen.
But see, you got to remember too. Now
I honestly think
Kevin Love, they're gonna keep him.
They're gonna keep him. Like I said, David Kahn is gone.
I'm just saying.
But with that being said, I don't know how Memphis. As long as they keep their coach, they should be cool. If not, they're gonna be in the world of trouble. And I think that's what's gonna happen with Denver next year.
Well, Iguodala's a free agent. I don't know if anybody wants him, but
Oh man, Iguodala, he's the most frustrating guy because you see the talent.
you see the potential.
You see the all-star
been there.
talent, but averaging 13 points a game when you know you should be averaging 20, and you don't know why he's not averaging 20. That's frustrating, man. It's frustrating to see. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's 29, 30 now. I don't know if he can get another big contract off of potential.
Yeah, if anybody's going to be realistic, I mean, he might only get a 2-3 year deal. I mean, I don't see where you could take him though and put him that you could be like, okay, well, he could go there and then he could really make a difference. Yeah, that's really looking at like rosters and the way some of these teams were built. Like you were just talking about, like in the West. You know, if he stays in the West, you know, where like Portland, they could use another swingman. But then it's like that's because really, like you're saying, with 13, 14 points a game, if that's all he's really going to give you.
Yeah,
that's all. I mean, that's really.
I have to think about it. I don't know where he can go. This is off the top of my head.
Just that's what I'm saying. It's like some guys you could be like, okay, well, you can move point guards around in that because you might think like, okay, well, certain teams need point guards. Like I think if Indiana had a better point guard, they might have made it to the finals. There's certain pieces in that you can look at certain teams, but then you look at a player like him, and it's like now they're almost like a dime a dozen because. Just like for the other guys
maybe,
that you already
know
named.
what? Maybe if he take a smaller deal, maybe Memphis.
Yeah, but then you basically got Tayshaun Prince who...
He can go to the bench.
I don't know.
Tayshaun like 34, 35 years old.
Still, but just like you said about Tony Allen, it's like you got almost like what he used to be in Tayshaun Prince, and then you got, Tony Allen, who's a better defender than Iguodala. So why even bother?
I mean, I'm just trying to think of.
I know that's how I'm just saying. It's like why at this point?
Yeah,
why even bother?
if they cash strap, I don't know. Maybe Phoenix, Sacramento. I don't know.
Yeah, but then it's like, is he gonna go to a team like that? Probably play out the rest of his years. If
you want to get paid,
maybe Dallas.
That's a thought.
That's a possibility. I could see that.
I could see that.
They Dirk's gonna take that hometown discount.
I don't know if he's gonna take that, but that's
hey, he's come out and said he's gonna take the hometown discount. That's
if they get Chris Paul or Dwight.
Yeah. That's wishful thinking.
It's rules to this game, man. It's rules to this game.
That's wishful thinking. So we had a Game 7 on Monday that was more like a regular season NBA game. Very lackluster.
Yeah, they came out scared. Pacers came out scared. I think they came out scared. They came out nervous. They had too many turnovers. They was playing with too much urgency. Cans, yeah.
With too much urgency. They
you said too much urgency.
They know. It was like too much. They was
playing not to lose. Let's call it what it is, man.
All right. If that's what you want to call it, that's fine. But yeah, a lot of their superstars and they didn't really show up. Didn't really do much of anything at all. It was just.
And I want to ask you about this. I don't think we talked about this last week. What's up with your boy Roy Hibbert, man?
He a thug, man.
He ain't no thug. Hey, I know you got to be politically correct to some extent. But everyone who's around the water cooler, in the locker rooms at work,
right? But you
always play that game, the Paul's game, the no homo game. With your boys. It's just, just a fun game. You can't say that stuff on national TV, man. You just can't.
Yeah, but, like, even at work, like, you're not going to say that to...
No, you're not. Yeah, I'm saying, like, with your boys, y'all out.
It's funny, like, you're texting or whatever. Yeah, but,
you can't do that on national TV.
It's just one of those things that when I saw it, I laughed. But then I knew what was going to happen afterwards.
Yeah, it's not 2010.
Right. So with the whole Jason Collins situation and that, I mean, I think that's where
The whole gays in sports in
Right,
general.
because what reading a little more into that, LeBron James made a similar comment
In
like
2010.
2010, yeah, right, and nothing came of it
Because it was 2010.
Right. So here we are 3 years later. We now have an openly gay NBA player.
We got openly gay player playing soccer in the United States.
Yeah. So
the movement
now you
is
can't
happening.
say like now you can't say things like that. So
You can't say that on national
you can't
TV.
say that on TV. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's not the BET Awards.
And even the line with with his response to by his defense in that. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, again, handle yourself a little bit better. That's all.
You can't. You know what? But even
he
that,
he had a right to say.
You know what?
The rest of the statement, but he could have used another word.
I agree with you 100%.
Pronoun.
But the way it is right now, in this day and age, you just can't throw homophobic slurs
Like that. No.
Now the other stuff, you're absolutely right. But people is more.
They would have let that slide.
Yeah, people are more sensitive to that than what you said about
curse. Yeah, just the cursing.
Isn't that crazy?
Right, man. And you know what's funny? Like in reality, that little word, that little phrase in that, it's not even really meant to be offensive. Like
no, it's not.
It's not. It's
but
not
you
even
just
meant
can't
to
do
be,
that on
right.
national
It's not even
TV.
really meant to be offensive when you say no homo. It's not. It's just sometimes you might say something that just doesn't come off right or come out your mouth the right way it's supposed to.
As a joke.
As a joke, and then you kind of catch yourself and you go, okay, wait, but yeah, just shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't have happened.
Just shouldn't have happened.
And you know what else shouldn't have happened? You shouldn't have tried to tweet Jason Collins for his acceptance of your apology either. Jason Collins is not Al Sharpton. He is not the president and civil rights leader of gays.
I didn't even know that part.
Yeah. You did not have to do that either. That's a double foul. That's like saying, I like black people. I got 6 black friends. Let me show you my iPhone. I'll show you them.
Yeah.
You can't do that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they say you know how many black contacts you got.
Yeah.
You racist. Yeah, it's just what it
right.
is.
So with that being said, you can't be like, oh no, I love gay people. Look, I just tweeted
Jason Collins.
for him to accept my apology.
Yeah, he's not the gayest man in America. Nothing like that. It's okay. It's just right. You said something dumb and it's all right. You can just take his and be like, you know what? Just say, hey. He could have just came out on Twitter or wherever he went and just say, hey, I said a stupid comment. I apologize. Like you said, hey, I didn't even know that. That's hilarious. But he had to reach out to the gay NBA player and say, hey, dude, I'm sorry I said this. Like, come on. Wow, that's funny.
He didn't have to do that, man. He's not MLK. He's not that guy.
He's not nobody marching for Jason Collins.
Jason Collins is not marching. He's not the civil rights leader of the gays. So,
wow, that's good stuff. I'm going to look into that afterwards.
But he didn't have to do that. So...
before we get into the finals preview or lack thereof or whatever we're going to discuss here, the Dr. J came out today that we just talked about just right before we started recording. I asked you if you had seen it, and he said that they got bamboozled in the Andrew Bynum deal, hoodwinked as it were.
Yeah.
And he had some offhand comments about 2 of the most historic franchises in the league, the Lakers and the Celtics, saying that they just used their kind of powers in that to kind of rip people off. Was the doctor dropping some knowledge in the...
Let me say this before I answer your question, okay? The purpose of a trade
make the team better
is to do what you can to make your team better. Mm-hmm. Even if that means you have to hoodwink, bamboozle the other team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. With that being said, Dr. J is 100% right. The Lakers and Celtics have historically.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Because you know what, when I was kind of looking at it, I was like, man, that just kind of sounds like sour grapes. But then I really thought about it. I said, you know what, man, he might be right.
I mean,
and then we started talking about some examples, and I was like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about that one. You know, you said the Magic Johnson deal. Still don't need. I got to get some paper on that one. I got to see how that happened.
And we didn't even talk about how the Celtics doped their way into getting Larry Bird and stashing him for a year and letting him go into college before they redid the amateur rules.
Yeah.
You used to
be able to sign people before.
Well, kind of like how they do with the international players.
Right.
So they drafted Larry Bird knowing he was going to go back to school, and then he came the next year. They drafted in 1978. He came the next year in 79, and
yeah, and then it was 2 years later they ended up getting the number 1 pick again after they won the championship when they drafted Len Bias.
Oh yeah, because they dove Cleveland.
Because they dove Cleveland. That's what I was like. I didn't even think about that until we started. Yeah, they got that pick right after they won the title.
And then they traded. I forget who exactly all the pieces they traded.
How they end up getting Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale. Yeah. They built that team off of
So to go back on Dr. J's point, he's 100% absolutely right. Even in more recent terms,
the Lakers deal when they got Paul Gasol for the ham sandwich and the high five.
I was about to say that, and that gift.
They said, we'll give you Kwame Brown.
and $500 and gift certificates.
Give us gift cards to Foot Locker, and then get your guys some shoes.
And then don't forget about the gift wrap present of them all, the KG trade for Gerald Green, Al Jefferson, ham sandwich, $30 gift coupon for Cheesesteak Factory
at the cheesesteak. That.
He's absolutely right. So
even when they got Ray Allen too, it was kind of like they built that team up.
I think when they get Ray Allen for Delonte West, a 2nd round pick, and Wally Zerbiak or something like that.
So I know. It's
he's absolutely right.
They built
which means that if you're gonna deal with the Lakers or the Celtics,
just be careful.
Be careful.
Yeah, just be careful. keep somebody else in the room with you. I don't know. You need somebody else to be there with you to be like, hey, boss, that don't sound like a good idea. You need that guy there that day, who's actually going to, speak up and say these things. Because, now the more that we keep talking about this, it's kind of a laundry list of, and this goes back to like the 60s and the 70s.
Back to Wilt Chamberlain.
The Wilt Chamberlain, there's, when they hoodwinked the Philly back then to give up Wilt. Man. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about some of them, man. Like the
Dr. J's 100% right, man.
Yeah.
They got hoodwinked knowing that Andrew Neal was about to fall apart. They got rid of him while they could.
Is he done? Is he done?
Yeah, he's done.
Is he even gonna play next year?
He may play,
but he ain't gonna play long.
Yeah. You know what, Mark? I know this is gonna sound crazy, but mark my words. I think Greg Oden is going to have a longer career than Andrew Bynum.
That's a bold statement, sir.
It is.
But you might be right, though. Because if again, I haven't seen it, but we was talking about this last week, too. From everything that they've been saying, he looks to be in great shape. He looks to be able to be mobile. If he's put in the right situation, I would see him, being under really good coaching and that. Somebody
playing 20 minutes a night.
Playing 20, 25 minutes a night, yeah, for a contender. If he was the finals are on right now, but if he was in the system like the way Greg Popovich has prolonged these guys' careers and that too, just like how, like McDyess, even Horry, when these guys were older and got the best he could get.
In Phoenix.
Playing in Phoenix, and they got Grant Hill, Jason Kidd, even Shaq. Remember, Shaq was productive there the 2 years, a year and a half he was there. Mm-hmm. Because they work with those guys. They know how to keep their bodies up. But, if he's put in a better situation, and you know what? That might be what Bynum needs, though, too.
But Bynum is almost 300 pounds.
But he's a knucklehead, though, too.
And he's a knucklehead.
On top of that.
And he's not
going to listen.
He's not going to listen. He's not going to be in the gym 24/7.
I truthfully think that might really be what cost Mike Brown his job. Just from his whole handling of that situation from the year before. And then coming into that other season.
That's hard to say because Bynum was an all-star. It is,
but then you think about it, you stretch it out over that time, though. From when all the things that happened, from the regular season, the playoffs came, kind of had all that bad blood between everything that happened right after the trade and that. They kind of looked at the situation where he don't know how to handle it. He couldn't handle it. That he can't handle his players. That's how he came out looking in that situation, though.
I think it was more so that Mike Brown was the coach, kind of like D'Antoni's the coach now. And you know what? You're right. because they probably looking at him like we look at D'Antoni.
Right. That he just don't know what he's doing. And that's why they got rid of him.
Yeah.
And come on, you can't judge a guy's body of work by 5 games to the NBA season. That had to be lingering longer.
Well, I will say this.
Than that.
It probably was lingering around, but when you got 4 Hall of Famers on the court, you running the Princeton offense, not even a triangle, the Princeton. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. At least he was trying something. I don't know what D'Antoni was doing.
Well, I know what D'Antoni was doing. He was like Kobe passing the ball.
Yeah, just get a ball to Kobe.
Yeah, get the ball.
Just get a ball to Kobe.
You set it down screen.
Yeah,
get double.
Get double.
Look up. What you gonna do?
Pass the ball to Kobe. Pass to Kobe.
That was that plan.
Yeah. But all right, well, now we're to the NBA Finals.
Who you got? Break it down.
I got San Antonio. You already know that.
Okay, break it down.
Break it down. Why?
Yeah.
They got the real MVP, man. Tim Duncan. That's it. Yeah. And they got T-Mac, the ghost of T-Mac on the bench. All right. No.
Okay, all right.
Here's, I think, what the X factor is into that whole situation, honestly, is what they're going to get from Manu.
Mm-hmm. Because Manu didn't play in that game,
Manu,
sure.
Right. Manu hasn't been playing that well. You know, he's been doing his thing here and there, but, you know, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker have been more than solid. But, you know, they're going to need their role players to step up. But Manu being who he's been throughout his entire career, he needs to step up. I mean, we need some 30-point games from Manu, I think, too.
And that's why I'm going to take the heat for the same reasons. But on the flip side, LeBron's the MVP. And they're going to need D-Wade to step up. I think Bosh is going to have a much better series than he had last time because he ain't going to have 2 7-foot, 280-pound dudes on his back.
See, I don't think Bosh is going to be the factor, though, and here's why.
Tim don't stick defense like them other dudes was.
Tim don't stick defense on him, but he's going to have to shoot jumpers, which we know he can hit. But inside, no, he's not getting nothing inside.
He probably won't, but I think if you ain't body bumping with those big dudes all day, yeah, I think your body be a little bit fresher to hit a jumper or two. That's just me personally.
I think Chris Bosh's problem is just him being in that situation. He's not being able to play his natural position. Because he's not a power forward.
He got to get over
Yeah, but he's not a power forward. Like, I mean, they got to come to terms with that too. He might be 7 feet 8 inches tall or whatever.
Oh no, he's not a center.
No, he's not a center or a power forward either.
Well, you got to be one there. You can't be a 7'3" dude. He can't. He don't got handles like that. He's not KD.
He's not, but I mean, his game the way. I mean, he's not rebounding the ball.
I think he's a better serve power forward if they get some more beef along with him, like a decent center next to him that can take.
Well, they got the Birdman, remember?
Birdman's not a center. We both know this. So, and you know how they used to have. Remember, like 10 years ago, when you had your premier power forward, you always linked them up with a big beefy center to kind of take the pressure off them.
Yeah, most teams were built like that.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna have to go back to that. Yeah. KG had Olowokandi. Duncan
had David Robinson.
He had Robertson, and then later he had Rasho, Nesterovic. You know what I mean? So, Rasheed had Sabonis. Mm-hmm. Dale Davis, young Jermaine O'Neal. That's
young Jermaine O'Neal. Yeah, no, it's...
Chris Webber have Lottie Divac. Mm-hmm. That's what they're going to have to do in order to bring the best out of Chris Bosh. That's what I think.
Well, they had Eddie Curry, and they let him walk.
Well... So.
All right, that was a bad example, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't, man, because it's sad to see what happened to Eddie in his career, man. He had a lot of promise, a lot of potential to be, a top 5 to 10 center in the league. And
I don't know about that.
I do, man. I'm serious. He was the real deal in high school. He really was.
Now, as far as centers go, you know who's probably been the most disappointing one? Brandon Haywood.
What?
Hey, from what he was doing in college and that, and he came to the league, it was just like,
you really had hope for him?
Some.
Wow. Now, if you had said Joseph Forte, I would have been on your side, but you said Brandon Haywood.
Talking about at that position. I was talking about the center position.
No.
I mean, 7-footers like that don't grow on trees.
Yeah, but he was never really. Now, if you said Olowokandi, I would have been like, yeah.
Well, everybody had hopes for Olowokandi.
Right,
That's not even.
But yeah,
He's in that he's in like that bargain bin. Like you don't even want to look over there when you talking about Olowokandi.
Yeah, you don't want to look over there talking about Brendan Haywood. That's like saying Nazir Muhammad. You thought was gonna be a top 5 center in the league, man.
See, now you're reaching.
I am reaching because I feel like you're reaching right now, man. Brendan Haywood, what?
Well, hey, that's I
mean, I think he had a nice career. I'm not gonna, I ain't knocking him.
He ain't even in the league right now, is he?
I don't know. That's a good question. But with that being said, I ain't. No, top 5? No.
I ain't say top 5.
Top 10? No.
No, I wasn't saying that.
Can you say serviceable center?
Serviceable, yeah, but he's not even that.
Well, he had his moments with Washington.
Yeah, but everybody had their moments in Washington. I mean, didn't you drop 30 that one time when he was there?
No.
No, that didn't happen either. Okay, my fault.
That did not happen. Ooh, D-Wade tried to. But
just saying. Just saying.
Okay, man.
Some of these guys turn around. So, I mean, you're making your case for the Heat here. We talking about Chris Bosh's game and that. We kind of went off on topic a little bit here on big men that we thought had promise. But yeah, that's a whole nother show in itself.
I'm going with the Heat, man. I'm going with the Heat. I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs win because they always seem to prove me wrong. But
they prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Right. That's why I'm going with the Heat.
They don't have the most athletic team. They're not, youth isn't on their side.
I'm going with the Heat. As I say this, I see them turning the ball over. I'm going with the Heat.
Okay. So we'll come back here in a week and a half and we'll see who's right and who's wrong, right?
Yep. Yeah, we will.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Birdman.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that being said, it was a good show, good podcast. We'll be back here next week, and hopefully I'll be here saying that I was right, but I got a feeling I'm gonna say I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you've been wrong about the Spurs all since we started this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna continue to be because.
I like it though. I like it though. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the more negative you are with them, the more they seem to win. So you keep that up, Charles.
I am.
All right.